Welcome to Room for All, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of inclusive employment and explore the power of creating opportunities for people with disabilities. I'm Andrea Comastri, CEO and co-founder of Hotel Etico, Australia's first not-for-profit social enterprise hotel.
And I am Saraya O'Connell, General Manager of Hotel Etico. Together, we'll be your hosts as we talk about the importance of breaking down barriers in the workplace. We will have a particular focus on hospitality and other customer-facing roles, and how businesses can lead the charge toward inclusion.
At Hotel Etico, we believe that everyone deserves the fair chance to succeed. And we've made it our mission to not only provide jobs, but to build meaningful careers for people with disabilities. On this podcast, we will be sharing success stories, best practice, and inspiring conversations with industry leaders from the hospitality sector, the disability sector, other social enterprises, philanthropy, and of course, our own trainees, graduates, and staff.
Whether you're a business owner, an advocate for inclusion, or someone curious about the future of work, this podcast is for you.
So come and join us at Hotel Etico, or as we call it, the Hotel California for the Heart, a place where once you've checked in, your heart will never leave.
So let's get started and open the doors for all. Welcome back to Room for All. We currently have Patrick Manley, co-founder and CEO of Cercle. There we go.
Welcome, Patrick.
Welcome, Patrick, to Room for All.
Welcome to this very different version of Room
Very
for
different.
All.
15 minutes.
Yes, fast and furious. Patrick, introduce yourself in a few words and your organization. Who are you?
We usually
what do you
say
do?
1 to 2 sentences, which is like an elevator pitch.
Got you. Co-founder Cercle. Cercle's a reuse network that focuses on diverting away from single-use food and drink packaging in high-density environments, workplaces, shopping centres, airports.
Fantastic. And we've got an example here, one of the things you do,
I didn't get a lid. I didn't. But there are lids, guys.
There are lids, right?
Yeah, there are lids. They're upstairs.
So tell us, so what does Cercle, like, be more specific? What do you produce? Is it just these cups? Is it more? Is it like,
I like
how
the
do you
colour,
operate?
by the way.
We provide a fully managed service for reuse. So we provide the products, we provide a method to collect the reusables once they're being used, and then we wash them in one of our wash hubs located around Australia. In Sydney, we focus in on employing marginalised communities in the washing, and we've been awarded a social enterprise certification for our role doing that.
And so does it work based on honesty from the guests? Because there's no token that they need to return or anything. Like, they could take it away, right? I could take this home if I wanted to be naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Most of our venues and places that we activate is based on honesty.
Yeah.
And we find it works amazingly well. Events can be up and down, as you appreciate. Like,
we will see today, right?
We will see today.
We will see today.
You counted them and then you do a stock take at the end.
And we'll just see just how honest the sector community is.
You hear that,
we'll benchmark
guys?
that against some of our other events that we've had throughout the year. But so when we talk about environments, like if you imagine a semi-enclosed environment, like a workplace, we've got astonishingly good return.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
And what's so important about trust is that we want reuse to be adopted, and so we can't put things in the way of people. So having apps, having other types of things just makes things challenging.
Of course.
But if you think about it, a shopping centre, right? I hate shopping, but I would go to a shopping centre, I would buy a coffee, I would walk around with my coffee. If there was somewhere to put the cup, which there is,
yeah, because most people would chuck it anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, because they're so nice, I suspect that there will be some people that will want to walk away with it.
Yeah, there'll be some sort of trophy.
Yes,
people.
that's right.
But the other thing that we've built is on these QR codes on the side of the cup. That is actually our deposit system.
Cameras there, so yeah.
So if you scan one of those cups, it'll take you to a web app that takes a temporary holding payment on your card for 7 days. And if that cup doesn't come back into circulation in 7 days, then it processes a payment.
Okay.
Otherwise, it cancels the transaction. No money ever left your account.
Okay.
And people do that? People are pretty honest?
Here's the thing is to do that, the cafe operator cites the person's mobile phone once they've done that thing.
Yeah.
And when we deploy that, what we find is that 9 times out of 10, people want to cafe operators want to go to the trust model because they don't want any additional steps.
Friction.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
Because I experienced something like this. I think it was in Paris. I was there. I went to the French Open, and they had this circular economy type of approach, and they were giving you a receipt when you were paying with a QR code. And unless you when you returned it, you had to scan it and you will get the money back or something along those lines. And so, I think, of course, the less friction you create, the more likely
and also
it
with
is.
those types of systems, you need all this additional infrastructure. And it's very expensive. Like we
Yeah,
want to
it does.
normalize reuse. We want to make it so completely normal that there's no second question about using it.
100%,
Fantastic.
yeah.
So what inspired you to personally do this?
I was working in an office building in Sydney and I was forgetting my keep cup every day.
Oh my God,
And
yeah. Got it.
Yeah, and so it just got to the point where I was like, right, I'm going to invest a little bit of time in looking into this problem. Chatted to a cafe owner downstairs who's now my business partner and co-founder of the company.
Fantastic.
He runs a network of cafes in Sydney CBD, and one thing led to another, and before you know it, we've got a company. to run.
Unbelievable. Love it. In all honesty, my Yeti comes everywhere with me in the morning, but it always ends up being left in my car.
So,
and that's the challenge. That's
That
why
is
we've
the
got to
challenge.
normalize reuse and just make it completely easy for people.
silly question.
Yeah.
How do you make money? Where does the money come from? How do you, who pays who?
That's a good question, actually.
It is a good question because there isn't much. We're competing against disposable cups, and they're the cheapest and
Yeah, they really are. Yeah.
terriblest thing that there is made.
Agreed.
So we work with brands that are really interested in doing something. I mean, Cercle is a great example, right? Because we're here at
Absolutely.
the event today, where they have an image that is important for them and a message for them to convey. And so if you imagine that in our workplaces, we then work with very forward-thinking landlords and brands that are like,
And
no,
corporates.
So
Right,
obviously
yeah.
in corporate environments or in festival environments, yes, there will be someone that pays because it's either a sponsor or the actual company itself. But in a cafe situation, it's the who covers those costs.
Well, the cafe owner?
Yeah, because I guess
They got to buy them, right?
going back to where we're
Yes.
working, we're in those high-density places because that's where we take a lot of takeaway packaging. It's in airports, shopping centres, workplaces in particular, actually, because you're there, most days of the week, using a lot of takeaway things. So it's sponsored by that landlord. And then they essentially, and they're just, at the moment, they're doing this to get this going. In the future, we do have a model where we can integrate with cafes and basically charge them the same amount that they're
Airports would be great, right? Because
absolutely.
they stop me from taking a coffee on a plane.
Exactly.
Like, what do they think I'm going to do with it? Pour it on somebody? But they,
No, they're
you
perfect.
have to. The minute you get on that gate, you put your cup in.
Yeah.
I guess the
And you
more
can't take it through
difficult,
security.
the more difficult one will be the little operators that sort of need to balance those costs with the sense of environmental responsibility. Yeah.
But go back to the question, like where this is going to scale is when we get big enough that and we are at this point now. It's a really interesting tipping point where we're now washing at a price that's comparable with the purchase of a single-use cup.
That's
so
great.
we still need to buy the reusables, and there is a capital expenditure there, but we're now competing directly with the price point of
That's great.
Fantastic.
and we're a social enterprise doing it. Name me a disposable packaging supplier that's ever going to be a social enterprise.
Well, you're a work integrated social enterprise, so I mean that's employment opportunities for everybody. So
And so, what's the biggest barrier to you becoming huge? Like, where is the hurdle?
That's a great question. I mean, there's multiple parts to it. So number one, I think, is on the policy front. I don't think there's more that the governments need to do to make sure reuse is put above other systems like recycling, because it is better than recycling.
Yeah.
We need to do more with these forward-thinking brands to recognise the value in reuse. Like when they convert a venue over to reuse, there's a lot of brand equity in that, and so that will drive a lot of investment. We just need those big places to really take this seriously.
And do you think it's stick or carrot or both that is needed?
A combination, but more carrot, right? Because there's the problem with the stick approach. Like when you look at that politically, if you say, we're going to ban single-use cups, the problem with that is that independent cafe operators will see that as an attack on their way of business, and we cannot have that.
Yeah.
So the carrot here is really important. I think that with all the investment that's being made in trying to green up our economy, why not find a really clever pricing structure to incentivize the adoption of reuse for businesses, because that will drive the change in the economy.
We haven't read any
we
of the
don't.
questions.
We loosely follow the script.
Where do you see yourself in, we say 2025 and beyond, a year's time? Where do you want to be?
A year, 2 years, yeah.
2 years.
What does the future look like for Cercle?
Well, you mentioned airports. We'd love to be in a few airports in
Airports
Australia.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, there's a new one popping up
Yeah.
soon. So.
Yeah, exactly. If they're listening, you know.
I think
We'll send them the link,
that's
shall we?
Yeah,
it's more likely that you get buy-in from that new one than it to show
that's right.
Yeah,
a sense
absolutely.
of, you know.
Yeah, no,
novelty.
that's right. Because when you're building a building, that's the point that budgeting decisions are made and service decisions are made, and it's very different to change. And so, yeah, that's a very, very good point. And then that's what we're seeing with forward-thinking landlords in the workplaces.
All right, so we're going to target Western Sydney Airport.
Yeah,
we're coming
we can put
for
in a good
you.
word in.
We'll put in, we'll let them know we're coming. And corporates, I think.
Yeah,
is a
definitely.
huge
So
one,
all
yeah.
these large landlords, we'd love reuse to be the norm in loads of really big venues. And so like the one we're in today, which is one of the universities, like you'd walk onto the campus and it would just be
Do you want
the way
to?
that
Are
it's-
there any well-known corporates that you're already working with? Do you want to drop a few
absolutely.
names?
I mean, our original customer, which has been a massive supporter of our work from the beginning, is Mervac, and they've really been a great organisation to work with because also they do a lot in the social
They
enterprise
do,
space,
yeah.
and they
They
really
work a lot with Too Good as well.
they really recognise the value in that and have done a great job in promoting our
Yeah.
service to the tenants that they have as well.
Great.
There's various other landlords that we're working with and
Fantastic.
events venues, even like groups like the MCEC down in Melbourne, the big exhibition convention centre.
Yeah, that's right. Convention centres and other
Yeah,
big
yeah.
ones. Without naming names, we'll definitely be able to introduce you to a couple of
The Western Sydney
corporate,
Airport.
but also other corporate
Corporates,
partners
yeah.
that we work with. So if you'd be happy to,
Absolutely.
along the same lines of the names that you've named. So very, very good. So I suppose I know the answer to this, but if you could wave a magic wand, what would you want it to do?
I would like us to recognise the true value of reuse against other systems that exist on Earth and the ones that are promoted to us. So I'll take aim just briefly on this podcast about recycling, is that's a system which is, in my opinion, over-invested in and delivers very marginal outcomes to us if we're trying to generally improve the environment.
We don't really know what's actually happening to the stuff that goes in that yellow bin, right?
Well, that's where you can put these trackers in and find out, and it's alarming. All over the world, things that are said to be going to recycling actually end up being incinerated, either domestically overseas or ending up in landfill.
And
So
we think we've ticked our box by closing that lid, and that's it, right?
This is, I think, the problem is if you look at the sustainability strategy for any council or any government, and therefore the people who live in there, it is all based on the recycling. And we are diligently separating our recycling only for in Australia, about 9% of it to ever actually be recycled. And in food packaging, it's even less than that. So they're completely misleading us.
Yeah.
And we've got to stop with that. We've got to stop being misled around that.
It's unbelievable. Like in Italy, my family lives in Italy, and every time I go and visit every 6 months or 12 months, whatever, they get stricter and stricter on their recycling procedures. So my mum 1 year had 1 bin. The following year she has 2 bins, and then 3 bins, and now she does
it's just
like 5 different bins outside the house. But they seem to be much stricter. They seem to stick with it a little bit more.
Are strict and you do amazing source separation, you've got to put trucks on the road to come and collect all that. You've got to
of course.
It's not an efficient
the wrong way of
to
framing
deal
the
with
problem.
materials on
Yes.
planet Earth. It creates vast
Very
amounts
good.
of pollution. It looks very good. You can make beautiful products out of it, but it is not economic and it's not massively great for the planet. And I
We're
just think
deluding
we could
ourselves.
just,
Yeah,
just be honest about that and put the investment into things that are better at keeping the materials in where you need them. And that's where reuse is powerful, is that we concentrate the use of materials in a more closed loop environment where we're not melting and grinding stuff down every time we use it.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I love that.
Yeah.
that. Well, look.
This is hard to do 15 minutes because we just want to talk to everybody for a lot longer.
Well, first of all, let me say before I forget, thank you for supplying these cups today to our Room for All Cafe upstairs on level 3. So we're really excited that we can contribute a little bit by doing what we're doing and not filling the bin with cups that go wherever. So thank you. But what's one thing that we haven't spoken about as we sort of heading to the wrapping up that you would really like to say to the people that are listening?
Well, we haven't spoken about what happens when these cups get used. So we put them in our drop pods. They'll get collected by our team who are in Sydney. These are women who have faced challenges seeking or getting into employment, so typically escaping from domestic violence or out of the prison system. They're taken to our wash hub, which is one of the most advanced wash hubs in Australia for reusables. It can process over 10,000 reusables
That's
in
insane.
a few hours.
Where is it?
It's down in the CBD, actually, underneath one of our one of these partnering landlords.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
And we're finding some really interesting stuff with the employment there, because reuse actually creates a brilliant opportunity for employment.
Absolutely.
And this marginalised group that need to use it as a stepping stone, it's fascinating working with them on it. So I'll give you one quote to finish.
Yes.
One of our team members said to me this week, Patrick, when I put on the Cercle shirt and I go out to collect the cups and take them back to the washroom, people smile at me. And I've never had a job where people smile at me like that.
Wow.
I'm a very emotional person for like inclusion and for creating job opportunities. So that just, look at you, you're tearing up.
You are. I can
Stop
see
it.
your eyes
I
are
am
tearing.
not. Well, I think anywhere that you can feel included. And do you know how many people don't smile at you? So for that.
But it's because we're doing this good for the environment.
Yes.
Like, so people are loving it that reuse is being normalized. And so they see one of our team members out and they're like, yes, you go, girl.
I love it. I love
Look,
it.
it's very. We experience that at the hotel ourselves, because we sit there on a Friday night or Saturday night, observe our trainees interacting with the public.
It's unbelievable.
And you can see the smiles on both sides, and it's because people give time to others.
I think people want to give time
express.
to others.
Fantastic. That's a great quote.
Business for good, definitely.
And maybe we can introduce Patrick to some of the hotels we work with as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Hotels would be
will be
perfect
another
as well, yeah.
another good area. So where can people find you? How can they learn more about you?
So we're a startup. We're in about 12 large commercial assets across Australia. So in some of those workplaces, like the banks, the consulting firms, people will already be using our service. When it comes to the general public, we are releasing a cafe network. There's a pilot happening up in Port Douglas at the moment with our cups, which is looking to target. Actually, it's got some hotels in that as well, which is street-wide activation. We're doing a lot of work in Byron Bay, where there's the council there is actually moving away from single-use at events.
Amazing.
And best way to contact you?
Website, online, LinkedIn. Yeah, our team will be very happy to.
We'll put that all on the show notes. And so, we hope that more people reach out to you and,
Thank you
as much as possible. Thank you, Patrick. Sorry for it being quick, but
no problem.
very articulate and communicative. So very, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.